Hello, Scorpios. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Excuse me, Scorpio. I have pulled out a couple of cards to get started looking at your energy. I have pulled out, we're working with the Wild Unknown Animal Oracle deck and Brian Froud's Fairy deck. You have a very interesting energy, my friends. This is your underline. You have the Lion card and then you have the Piper. Both of these cards, now, they have their own significant differences, but a similarity that they both lean into is patience, is being sort of like patient. The Lion takes on a more regal aspect of this. Now, there's also a similarity between the Lion and a card that you're pulling out now that have to do with like spiritual mastery, like a spiritual master. So that's very interesting too. I feel like these cards are showing sort of like a harmonious, you are sitting very harmoniously in a cycle that you have been occupying and are transitioning into something that is a little bit different, but it's still leaning into kind of like the energies that are existing now. The Lion is the Piper is a very persuasive energy. The Piper is one that can persuade us and communicate without even using words. This is like body language, eye contact, you know, things like that. It could even be like the words that are being said are not the words that are like the message or what it is that somebody needs to pick up on. It could be the tone of your voice. It could be how you're using your voice. And the Lion is very, like, this is a spiritual master. So I feel like you, and I'm going to say this in the past, you have been very good at persuading people. And this persuasion likely comes from a way that you sort of present yourself. It comes with how you hold yourself back too, like the Lion card does. So you have like a real talent for something, but it also, like there's spiritual mastery here is speaking in both cards. So the card that you have here is the Bear. The Bear is somebody who is waking, the Bear is someone who is awakening from a bit of a spiritual slumber. So, right, the Bear is like that symbol of coming out of the hibernation, but it's talking like sort of spiritually here. So do you see how here you're coming across in the past as like spiritual master, spiritual mastery, and having a very good way of communicating with others? I don't know, it's weird, right? Like finding harmony in your world. Very seductive energy too. It's kind of like a gentle persuasion. It's like a gentle, you are a master at gentle persuasion. But it's weird, right? Because the fact that the card that you have now is waking up from a spiritual slumber, that almost feels like you're tapping into yourself again. You're tapping into something again. It could also, like, it could be talking about maybe there's a calling that you have in life, or maybe there is something that you have a special gift or talent for, and you were really mastering it in the past, and it's almost like either you stepped away from it, you took some time off from it, you were getting a bit of a spiritual upgrade and everything kind of felt like it shut down, and then now you're stepping back into it again. So what's really interesting is the Fairy card that came out with this, and the Fairy card that came out with this is the Master Maker. And it's, I also like it, it's number 22. So, right, like it is a master number, number 22. The Master Maker is talking about doing our best work, our very best, not just our best, like our very best work, doing our very best work in life. And it can also talk about preparing something for yourself. It's like designing something that is beyond your skill, and then raising your skill, raising your level of skill to meet what it is that you've designed. Like it, So yeah, and how, like, I don't know, how, it's almost like, right, like it's almost as if somebody building a scaffolding and thinking, well, I've never, what do I think about that? I see people, they have scaffolding, like doing things like, let's say putting siding on a house. Say you know how to put siding on a house. You stepped away from, you were a master at putting siding on houses or sheds and things like that. Like you were really, really good. And you had a great way of persuading, you know, people to pick the right color or go with the right type of siding, and then it's almost like you step away from it, because you have to have stepped away from it because the fact that you're waking back up to it, right? Like you've taken a break from it, whether it's a weekend, a couple of days, or, you know, weeks, months, or years. So you're stepping back into it. And then it's almost like, oh, maybe, okay, I'm thinking instead of working with, like, you know, I think like vinyl siding and stuff, it all sort of clicks in together. So let's okay, now you're going to do a big house. You're going to do a big house with this siding, but you're going to do sort of like a tongue and groove. You're going to do like a tongue and groove. Maybe you're going to use a wooden siding, and you're going to, but you building scaffolding to get up to that. So, right, that's a level that you've not used your craft in. That's a level that you've not ascended to spiritually. It could be a goal. Look at that too. Like it could be a goal. Like let's say you have a goal that you want to be able to meditate for 1 hour solid. You want to be able to meditate for 1 hour solid. Maybe you don't meditate at all. Or maybe you meditate for like 10, 15 minutes and then you get bored with it, or you get tired, or you don't have the time, or whatever it could be. It's kind of like, that's my goal. And now I'm going to start ascending towards it. I'm not there. I'm not my goal, but I'm going to be my goal, right? That's the master maker. And it's really interesting because having this waking up, it's like you were really good at it already. I don't know what it is. And maybe it is like, maybe it's tapping into some sort of spiritual aspect or practice that you have or have had, or it's something that you've become. Maybe, okay, I kind of want to say a spiritual practice could any sort of practice, like even if it's an exercise program, something like that, right? If we do the same thing over and 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 over again, we actually start to go into a slumber, because we are sort of just kind of working on sort of like a subconscious level, right? I remember my mom, she used to commute when I was a teenager. It was like an hour commute for her. And she would come home sometimes. She would go, you know, I don't even remember the drive. It's just like, right, because it just got so repetitive, and she was just in her zone and doing it. And it's like, it can be like that, right? Like it could be a habit. It could be, maybe you developed in the past some type of habit for yourself. And this habit was very positive for you. Very, very good for you. But if that habit does not grow and adjust with you over time, then it can become, well, I want to say if it started off as a good habit, it can become sort of like maybe a detrimental habit, or it can become just a time waster. You know, I don't know. But the master maker is here with this bear waking up from this spiritual slumber. And it also talks about, like the master maker also talks about a long-lasting achievement. So achieving something, but right, I'm going to do it good, and I'm going to do it the best way I can. And if I'm not, and maybe it could be like, I'm getting also public speaking with this, like think of that, of public speaking. And maybe, who knows, maybe you'd like to do a TED Talk or something. It's like, maybe you're like, so I got some interesting information that I could share. I'd love to do a TED Talk, but I don't feel comfortable standing in front of more than like 2 or 3 people. Okay, I'm going to do the TED Talk. Like that's what the master maker is. It's like, I'm going to do the TED Talk, but to get there, because I'm not there yet, I'm asking myself to be and achieve something more than I am right now or could right now. So I'm going to flex my muscles. So, okay, I'm going to do a talk in front of 5 people. 5 people. I'm going to talk in front of 5 people. And I'm going to do that until it feels really easy and it doesn't feel like I get anxiety. Flow. And then once I get past that point, I'm going to hit it to 6. Maybe you'll jump a couple times. You'll go from 6 to 8. And then you wake up. And then before you know it, you're talking in front of like 300 people. So this is your energy. I like it. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. Oh, yeah, okay. It could also be like teaching your craft, which is interesting and significant, right? Because this is somebody, what is it? Teaching your craft. Maybe there's something like it could be training people. It could be training people to do something that you know how to do. Training, oh, see, but that would also, like, if it's something that you know how to do, but you've never taught someone else to do it, that is the master maker right there too, right? Like, it's, okay, you have this skill level, but you're going to raise it up to where your level isn't right now. And then you're going to fulfill that. When I started teaching art, that was the first thing I learned was like, whoa, I'm going to learn a lot teaching somebody else something, because I thought I knew everything. Well, I didn't think I knew everything. I'm an Aries. I probably have that in my head at sometimes. But it's like that is a whole other level there to be able to teach something to someone else. So this could be teaching your craft to someone too with the master maker. And you could be like, you may have brought something for yourself even to the highest level that you can. And then it's almost like helping someone else maybe even achieve something higher than what you've achieved. Okay, so let's look at the Lion. I look at this past. Oh my God, the Emperor. Wow, this is very stoic, very regal, very in charge. This is, yeah, somebody who's like the boss, somebody who's in control of life. Jeez. Yeah, this is, you got somebody, literally, you got all your shit together. People look up to you. You are a rock. You're a steady rock with this energy. Well, you were. So I say were. I mean, I don't know what happened. Something has to have happened between this energy that I'm seeing in the underlying and this. Because now it's like you're waking up. You're waking up that slumber. You're waking up something about yourself that was very, is the epitome of something in you. So then the Piper, wow, the Sun. It's even like maybe inspiring other people. You knew, God, this is weird. It's almost like you really knew yourself. You really knew yourself. You really knew your calling. You really knew what you were here to do, and you were doing it. So I want to pull out a card. I need to pull out a card to see what happened. Like, because there's a missing piece here. Why would you be waking up from spiritual slumber? Like, why did you go into a spiritual slumber? Let's ask that. Why did you go into a spiritual slumber? The 10 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. Well then, God had some lessons for you here. It's like that. 10 of Wands, or it's leaving some things behind here. It's dropping some baggage. You dropped some baggage? You were dropping some baggage. It was all part of the plan. I mean, it's 6 of Swords. It was all part of the plan. You had to drop some baggage here. Okay. So now you're the Bear. You're waking up. Your spiritual slumber. You're starting like new. Ah, the Mother of Swords. Interesting energy to be starting with that. So, eyes wide open. Clearly awake. So you are awake. So like, right, the Bear is waking up from a spiritual slumber. But I want to say the Mother of Swords is clearly awake. Eyes are open, aware, observant. The Death card, the 8 of Cups, and the 5 of Swords. Well, you are having a rebirth right now. You are. I mean, this bear card talks kind of like about that. And then here you have the death card, Scorpio. When are you guys not having some type of a rebirth, right? Eight of Cups. Five of Swords. It's giving me this impression like you're picking up where you left off. You're picking up where you left off. But this has something to do with your self-development. It could have, and that self-development could be coming through in like your work, the dealings with other people, the master maker. Justice. Oh, where did that go? Where did it go? All right, I have to pause it. I don't know where it went. Oh, this is interesting. I found the card. You have Justice, the Chariot, and the World. You were going to make this so good that it'll never have to be made again. You were going to move with purpose in a way that you've never moved with purpose before. You will never have to move this again. I don't know what you're going to do, but it feels like really, these cards, like it's, I want to say too, because it's all major arcana, it feels like this is the right time. You know, like when the bear wakes up out of the hibernation. It's just like, it's like, right. It's just, I guess there's a lot of signals and things that go on. The bear's metabolism starts to adjust and change to temperature changes and more daylight. Probably the fact too that a lot of the fat that the bear went into hibernation with is coming off. I just like said, I don't know. We're coming up to Christmas and New Year's. Maybe you're gonna make a resolution here. Resolution. I'm gonna get all that fat off me. This is like God is calling you up to do this, and you're like, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to do it. I'm gonna do it. Because this major arcana, not just for me as a reader, I mean, it kind of is this, it's energies that we can't really negotiate. We can negotiate ourselves through it, and we can transform through it, we can adjust through it, but this energy stands here because, and it's solid. It is not sort of like mutable and transformable like the minor arcana is. So there's something that feels like the timing here. Like it feels a little bit like God is asking you to do this. God is asking you to step up right now. The bear is not necessarily an easy energy either. Like you imagine a bear coming out of a slumber, like he hasn't really used his limbs, his or her limbs for months. Things could feel stiff. There's a lot of twigs coming out of the snow and like tripping over stuff. It's not necessarily a beautiful process, but what's created on the other side is beautiful. And with these three cards here, you're going to do this, and you're going to do it right, and you're going to do it once, and it'll never have to be done again. What it is, I'm not 100% sure here. Is there something you can tell me what this is? What, like, is this for Scorpio? The Four of Pentacles. What is this for Scorpio? It's the Four of Pentacles. Okay, just to clarify that. That feels like standing in place. Is that the idea here? What's the Four of Pentacles? One card came out. The Three of Swords. I feel like you're going to fix something. You're going to fix something here. and you're going to fix it so well that it will never need to be fixed again. Why is the Five of Swords here? Temperance and the Knight of Wands. Okay, this is interesting. Now, these clarifying cards are giving me the impression here that you are going to dig your heels in some way. How do I want to say this? If there's some level of self-control, strength, courage, fortitude that you need to lean into right now. You've done this before with the Emperor and the Lion. But I feel like the context is different for you right now. And because the context is different for you, it feels like it's asking you to do what you are capable of doing, but you don't, it's almost like you don't feel like you can. Like it feels unfamiliar, but it is familiar. You can do this. So I feel like the bear for you is waiting for spring, okay, right? Like it would be, is there something on the other side of the cave? That's how this is starting to come across. Like if we talk about like powerful spiritualism here, one of the most powerful aspects of spiritualism is how we react to stimuli that could be trying to get us to react in a way that isn't beneficial to us, right? Like if so, did I word that right? Like if there's a stimulus outside of you, and this stimulus is making you want to react in a way that is not beneficial for you or your situation, but the stimulus is so strong that it starts to kind of like eat away at you, or it challenges your self-control. You've utilized this before, but it feels like it's somehow a different context to how you're going to utilize it now. Like, let's say with the Emperor, let's say it's like it was a work thing. Like you could exhibit some level of extreme self-control even when there was stimulation around you that was just, come on, you want to yell, you want to throw a punch, you want to do this, but you're not going to do it. This is a deep internal thing going on here. And you're going to do it, and you're going to do it better than it's ever been done before. Okay, so and it's interesting because it may even feel like right now that you can't do it, but you can. So I do feel like you're going to lean into some sort of muscle memory. You're going to lean into some type of mindfulness memory. Maybe there's something going on like for you personally here. That's why I say like the stimulation feels like it's harder to not react to it. But yet you're still showing up to me as someone who can do this. But these cards are different. There's something different right now than how you've needed to do this in the past. And I'm going to say that I feel like the bear is leading you back into the lion. It feels like the bear energy is going to lead you right back into this lion energy. I wonder if I'm hearing lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. The tiger in this deck is the divine feminine. The bottom of the deck is the Seven of Cups. very curious because you have the sun here in the past. And it's almost like the sun didn't take much effort, like clarity, making things obvious. I'm going to do the extended, but check this out. So what I'm doing here is I'm going into the tea leaf oracle deck, and I'm going to shuffle with you guys, and we're going to ask, what does Spirit want to talk to you all about in the extended? So we're going to see, what does Spirit want to talk about Scorpio about in the extended? A handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. A family wish that comes true and heals. Obstacles to overcome. Okay, see, the bear feels like it's getting ready to, this energy. It's getting ready for this obstacle. It's getting ready for something. See, the sun is just on the other side of the hill. Okay, so there could be a stranger here, and meeting this person is going to be very important. This person could have something to do with a wish that you have in terms of family or for your family. And this person, well, it could, maybe they could be helping you with an obstacle in some type of a wish that you have here. You were highly thought of is at the bottom. There's 2 options in the description below if you would like to follow me to the extended. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.